Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you are all well. You amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. It's Thursday. We're going to get straight into the meat and potatoes. You're looking absolutely amazing. And yeah, look, before I touch on this, a lot of you will have seen this, but nowhere near as many people have seen it that needs to see it. And we know that because we've seen videos that are speaking on a certain narrative around the Charlie Kirk case that are getting millions of views. There's one in particular that I believe is now around 6 million views, I believe, and it's very, very infectious in the way that this has convinced many people, many people. You can see it in the comments. I've literally had hundreds of emails of people, even though I've addressed it, who are telling me to go and watch it and make sure that I watch it and understand it, because that's telling us what happened. You can see the cat in the background. He is the newest member to the ever-growing family of cats. Well, that's not even a cat. Oh yeah, he's literally a horse. That is a Maine Coon, and he is massive. But anyway, I digress. But he's huge. Yes, so it's in the comments, it's everywhere, and people feel that this specific video, which I'm not going to show because I literally don't agree with it, but I do come from a place of not believing the narrative that we're being told. But there is a video, I'm not going to play the video, but I'm going to show you just one frame, just one still from it, and that one still alone, without the other context of the video, disproves this viral video. And I think what's happening in the Charlie Kirk case is we're beginning to now look for things that concrete our theory. And I think we've stepped beyond the realms of trying to understand that, yes, the overall narrative don't make sense. But what we're dangerously doing now is making other things what we believe is now the real story, when in effect they don't make sense either. So this is the video that I'm talking about, and it is this is by Jesse on Fire. Obviously you can go over, watch it. It's the mind-blowing new footage, shows exactly where Charlie Kirk was shot from. And where I've done, you can see in this video here, I've just stopped one frame, which shows you the blowback of the t-shirt here. This bulge here is basically force. It's force. For every action, there is an opposite reaction to it. And what you're going to see in this video is, and he slows it down to literally like as slow as that will go, and it's very, very clear that the reaction from Charlie getting hit is he is blown backwards into the seat, and then he comes forward. And obviously we then see the aftermath of the injury itself, which is this wound in the to the side, to the front here, in this fleshy part that is clearly caused catastrophic internal damage. And I've shown previously Lauren the Mortician's video that speaks, for those of you who don't know about the anatomy, what happens when the carotid artery is severed, which is it's a pressurized hose, if you like. She used an analogy of, imagine a hose pipe with water going through it, and you just slash it. What's going to happen? You've got the blood pumping from the heart. You've got his heightened sort of, because he's excited where he is, so he's got an elevated heart rate, which means that the blood is being pumped harder and faster, and this catastrophic injury then leads to that blood is going somewhere, and we see very much where it goes. If you was unlucky enough to see the worst footage possible, I've never seen anything like it. But like I say, I don't believe the narrative, what's being pushed out. I do not believe it. I think it's concerning. I think that there is other things. We've just seen Jimmy Kimmel come back out. He is back on the air now with his fucking crocodile tears. You're crying because you got called out, and later on in his coming back speech, he resorts back to normality and laughing and joking. It's just the most fucking insincere thing I've ever seen, but it is what it is. Because you could argue, I guess, that this entire situation, which I find ironic in the comments as well, is that Charlie Kirk was somebody who wanted to speak. He wanted to give people the mic if they disagreed. If you disagree, come to the front. And we've lost somebody, perhaps the best person ever, so definitely in my lifetime, I'm 45 years old, who would openly debate people and allow people to have their say. And we've lost that now. But off the back end of that, what we shouldn't then do is try and silence either side. Do you know what I mean? That's not the answer. The answer is to make people see that this isn't going to work. It isn't going to shut people up. It isn't going to stop debating, like Charlie would say. As soon as people stop talking, Freudian slip, that's when the violence starts. And violence is not ever the answer. But in this situation here, like I say, the overall narrative doesn't make sense. And because it doesn't make sense, we are trying to find what does. And we see something, and all of a sudden, it's like, that's the narrative. That's definitely what happened. But I will flat out say, if you watched this video and you still believe that Charlie Kirk was shot from behind, then I don't know how to help you, because this video proves that that's not the case. So what we should be doing is not so much focusing on the fact that, look, Charlie Kirk was shot from behind. That's clearly there was an entry wound and this was an exit wound, which, like I said in the previous video, when you do that, you start to implicate other people. Because if there was two wounds, then other people around him would have known. The people, TPUSA, would have known because they literally were carrying him. Are you saying that they wouldn't have looked to see whether they could stem the bleed and stop it? Do something. They would have looked. And then they would have had to have hidden it subsequently. There would have been other problems there to do that. If you are in the belief that this was something that was set up, there was more people involved, then look, keeping it as simple as possible is the way that you're going to find the truth. And that is that this is an entry wound. So the question should be asked, instead of, well, he was shot from over here, so and this, that, and the other, he's got man of steel bones. You should now be thinking, hold on a second, with the knowledge that we have garnered from people who are smarter than me, who have fired these guns, they know these guns inside and out, you now need to be asking the question, okay, if we're going to say that this is an entry wound, and he was shot with the weapon that we've been told he has, then why didn't it react the way that it should have done? Why didn't it do what the vast majority, if not 99.995% of the people who know about this weapon, this round that was used, why didn't it behave in the manner that it should have done? Now, was it truly that Charlie Kirk's bones were just like Wolverine? Because I'm not buying that. I certainly am not buying that. So something is amiss here. So instead of trying to fathom out who shot from over there and what's going on there, how about we focus on the reality of this? And that seems to be that he was indeed shot from the front. This is indeed an entry wound, but the bullet didn't behave how it should. Now, is that because the bullet was packed less than it should have been? But then we feed off into, does Tyler then know how to do that? Does he have the skill to do that? It's possible that he does. If he doesn't, then who did? Was there someone else involved? And we have to chip away properly. If you are somebody who truly wants to figure out what happened to Charlie Kirk and for the people involved to be held accountable, we're not going to be doing it by looking at a Kansas City shuffle. And that is, look over here, while what really happened is sitting over here somewhere. That's just my opinion. I know it's not going to be a popular one, but that's my opinion. And if you don't like it, tough fucking shit. Love you all. Mwah.